Team Rocket has more losses than anyone else in Pokemon. But could these notorious losers actually beat a Pokemon game? To find out, I tried to beat Pokemon Scarlet playing as Team Rocket. This means using only Jessie and James's Pokemon, as well as using only the awful moves that Team Rocket uses in the anime. With a bunch of extra rules on top to make this challenge even harder, could Team Rocket finally win something, or would we be sent blasting off again? Let's find out. Dressed in our very villainous uniform, we venture out into the world of Pokemon, ready for a life of crime. However, none of these starters have been used by Team Rocket before. I mean, unless... But naturally, there's only one Pokemon deserving of being our starter, and of course, that is... Meowth.
Meowth! That's right!
Despite his incredibly depressing backstory, Meowth is one of the realest characters in the entire show. And now that the full Team Rocket trio has assembled, we've got to find some rare Pokemon to send to the boss. And apparently, the rarest Pokemon in Paldea are in Area 0. Think of the promotion we would get by giving the boss an ancient Pokemon from the past. To get to Area 0 though, first we have to collect all the gym badges. But I mean, come on, this should be easy. We've got our trusty Meowth. Except, Meowth can only use these pathetic moves, because that's all he uses in the anime. So, Meowth only knows Scratch at its current level, but that isn't going to stop us. So, Team Rocket stepped up to face the leader of the first gym, Katie. Prepare for trouble and... Oh, never mind. I tried to beat this fight multiple times with Meowth, but we're heavily outnumbered by Katie's trio of bugs. And since her nimble knows double kick, which is super effective against Meowth, we can't even make it past her first Pokemon. So, after being sent blasting off again for the third time, it was clear that we needed more rocket Pokemon of our own. And I had the perfect plan to get some. Give me all the Pokemon you've got or I'll start blasting! We're not powerful enough to steal any Pokemon yet, meaning that we would have to resort to catching some of our own. So, after taking the Team Rocket secret hot air balloon, we arrive in the land of Kitakami, and it's here that we can find two iconic Team Rocket Pokemon. First up is Ekans, and did you know that Ekans, spelled backwards, is actually subscribe? So click subscribe to my channel for more very accurate Pokemon facts. Ekans is Jessie's OG Pokemon, who basically strangles things for a living with rap. Its moves honestly aren't amazing, but Ekans is way too iconic to ignore. On top of Jessie the Ekans, our final new Pokemon for now is James's very first Pokemon, Growlithe. It doesn't get much screen time, but Growlithe is the most loyal Pokemon in the entire series, and I will die on that hill. It can only learn 2 moves, and will never evolve since James didn't evolve his. But thanks to the open world nature of Pokemon Scarlet, we can teach it Flamethrower right away. And this is exactly what we need for our rematch with the first gym. So, with an upgraded trio, Team Rocket returned to Katie's gym, ready for revenge. Just like our failed attempts, I lead with Meowth and begin scratching away at Nimble. Normally Meowth can't even get past this first Grasshopper, however, a lucky critical hit on our second scratch slays Katie's first bug, bringing out this ridiculous thing. And after landing 2 more scratches, Meowth finally falls. Next in is Jessie the Ekans, who can thankfully finish Tarantula with a single bite, meaning Katie was down to her final Pokemon. But this terastallized Teddiursa is tough. With a barrage of Fury Cutters, Ekans is finally sliced into pieces. Team Rocket had only one Pokemon left. However, that Pokemon is Growlithe. With one final Flamethrower, Teddiursa is roasted to a crisp, meaning that Team Rocket had finally claimed their first gym badge. My confidence was high, so maybe it's time to steal some valuable Pokemon for the boss. And then I laid eyes on something special. A giant crab. If we could deliver this Titan to the boss, just imagine the riches we would receive. Money? Fame? The acknowledgement that we have both craved as a result of our childhood trauma? The possibilities are endless. But first, we had to beat it.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs.
Clorf is one of the 5 Titans in Pokemon Scarlet. Like all Titans, it has a ridiculous amount of HP, and it's incredibly powerful. However, this guy is dumb. Like, really dumb. Like, -1 brain cells kind of dumb. Clorf doesn't opt for any of its powerful moves, meaning that our trio of Pokemon can slowly chip away at the giant crustacean, just inching out the win on our very first attempt. With Clork sent to the boss, now we could finally rest and it's Team Rocket! Wait, who are you? I'm Arvin, the Titan Hunter. Just please don't hurt me. Oh, don't be silly. Team Rocket won't hurt you. We'll just take all your cash. Now open up your wallet. With our bank account replenished, Team Rocket pushed onwards to Artisan Town. But before we move on, did you know that the R on my chest doesn't only stand for Rocket, it also stands for Raid Shadow Legends, our sponsor. Raid is an RPG with over 800 champions to collect and battle with. My favorite being Wazgar. Isn't he just so handsome? And now's a great time to start playing, as Raid is currently running their Spring Hunt minigame event where you can win a real-life game console, Amazon gift cards, and lots more. To enter, just download Raid using my QR code on the screen, head over to this link, and enter your Raid ID. Then, search for hidden items around the Mistwood until May 30 to have a chance at winning some awesome prizes. Besides that, the Community Weeks event also gives you extra items in-game just by playing, including the legendary support champion, Chronica Adeline, for free. And as an extra bonus for you guys, if you download Raid for free using this QR code or the link in the description, you'll get a stack of extra bonuses, including the epic champion Tyrell, as well as another starter pack once you reach level 25. After downloading the game with my link, use this promo code to claim some more freebies, then come and join my clan, Team Racket, and I'll see you on the battlefield. And it's here that we meet Nemona. Alright twerp, I know you've got a Pikachu clone in your pocket and our boss wants it. Am I supposed to feel intimidated? I bet the Sun Flora aren't even scared of you. They are, so I'll prove it. Oh god, they're everywhere! We may not be ready for Nemona, but we are ready to tackle the second gym leader, Brassius. He specializes in grass types, so naturally, I lead with our Ekans, firing off a super effective Poison Sting and... What? That is pathetic! You should be ashamed of yourself, Jessie. As garbage as Ekans is, Petalil is even worse, meaning our Poison Stings still outpace the plant as we draw first blood. Despite Ekans' low health, we still manage to land 2 bites, chomping on Smoliv before our snake falls. And from here, Growly is clear to come in and finish the Olive with a flamethrower, bringing Brassius down to only his Pseudo-Wudo. It terastallizes into a grass type, meaning that our flamethrowers hit hard, but it's not enough. Pseudo-Wudo somehow survives before a single super effective rock throw sends our puppy to the pound. This brings it down to a 1v1, Team Rocket's ace, Meowth, versus a weakened Pseudo-Wudo. And surely we would be able to get the win from here, right? Well, Meowth's Scratch is devastatingly bad, while Pseudo-Wudo's Trailblaze does big damage. And after our second miserable Scratch still isn't enough to KO, Pseudo-Wudo annihilates our final feline, and yeah, Team Rocket was blasting off again. This challenge is not easy, and it's made even harder by the fact that I've added my own extra rules, like not being allowed to overlevel my Pokémon past the next gym leader's ace, not using any items from the bag during battle, and playing on set mode just to make the challenge even spicier. But after coming back down to Earth, I marched straight back into the gym, ready for a rematch. Wait, why does Brassius get such a cold, villainous intro? Dude is standing on a windmill like some kind of final boss. Team Rocket really needs to take notes on how to make an entrance. This time, I lead with the raw power of Growly, who utterly incinerates Petalil with a single flamethrower, and the Smoliv that follows is instantly burnt to a crisp. Pseudo-Wudo is still an enormous problem though. Just like last time, a flamethrower isn't enough to take it down. However, this time we get a lucky burn. This nerfs Pseudo-Wudo's attack, allowing Growly to comfortably survive a hit before one last flamethrower torches that tree into charcoal. With that, Brassius was defeated and we had earned our second badge. Pardon me, are you Team Rocket? Obviously. Who's asking, geezer? My name is Hassel. Hassel of the Elite Four. Elite Four? Did I say Team Rocket? I meant Team Racket. We play tennis. And look at the time. I'm oh so late for my game. Gotta go. After making our escape in the Team Rocket air balloon, we were finally safe from harm, at least until Bombardier attacked. This giant demon is the second Titan who we have to take out, but we're an evil team who uses evil, toxic strategies. First, after Ekans tanks a hit, we use Glare to paralyze the Titan, giving it a 25% chance of being fully paralyzed each turn. Then, by using Bite, we stack the odds even more, also giving the Titan a 30% chance to flinch. This toxic combo causes Bombardier to helplessly sit there, unable to move, for 5 turns in a row. This allows Ekans to chip away at Bombardier before Growly is able to wrap up the first phase with 2 flamethrowers. We don't get to heal between phases, but thankfully, Arvin joins in for the next one. And this man literally soloed the entire fight, even though all my Pokemon fainted and I contributed absolutely
nothing. You lose.
We still somehow claim the W. So since I helped you, now we're friends and you guys won't mug me anymore. Right? Anyway, after leaving Bombardier's den, we soon received a call from the boss.
I got that Titan you sent me. It's a fine addition to my collection.
Thank you, boss. And about my reward,
Up ahead is a base belonging to our rival gang, Team Star. Go in there and crush them. There's only room for one organization in Paldia, and that's Team Rocket.
Understood, boss. Leave it to me. Following orders, we immediately stormed the base, tearing through an army of grunts along the way. Until finally, we're approached by the first Team Star boss, Giacomo. And this man is our toughest opponent yet. His Pawniard lead isn't too threatening, as a flamethrower from Growly quickly melts Giacomo's first dark type into its grave. However, his next one is the real threat. Revavroom has an insane HP bar, as well as destructive power. This demon immediately overpowered all 3 of my Pokemon, and it wasn't even close. That was our worst loss yet. Clearly, our beloved trio of villains were already struggling to keep up with Pokemon Scarlet. If we can't even beat an early game boss, what hope would we have for beating the hardest fights in the game? Team Rocket's future looked bleak, but I wasn't ready to give up yet. So instead, I set my sights on recruiting our next team member. And I had just the Pokemon in mind, Magikarp, the Pokemon that James was scammed into buying. It may be undeniably pathetic in its current form, but we can immediately evolve our new fish into an almighty Gyarados. Now we had a real powerhouse Pokemon. Except, James's Gyarados can only learn 2 moves, and since Dragon Rage isn't in this game, that leaves us with only Splash. Yeah, the pathetic move that does absolutely nothing. This rule of only using Team Rocket's moves is absolutely brutal. So, besides our useless new fish, we obviously need another new member. To boost our numbers, I headed to the Asado Desert, where we can find Cacnea, another of James's Pokemon, who I name Love Hurts, because this little guy just wants a hug, but is too spiky to get close to. Damn. I really felt that. There's only one valid move that I can teach Cacnea for now, but that move is Drain Punch, an amazing fighting type move that also heals back HP. With this new roster assembled, it was time to once again try and topple Giacomo. This time, I lead with Cacnea, and while we take huge damage from Aerial Ace, our plant hangs on before delivering a quad-effective Drain Punch to KO Pawniard in one shot, while also recovering our HP in the process. Once again, the giant Starmobile emerges, but this time, Team Rocket has a plan. By switching into Gyarados, our otherwise useless Sea Snake activates its Intimidate ability, lowering the Starmobile's attack. And it just so happens that Growly also has this ability. So, by pivoting back and forth between these two, we spam Intimidates, nerfing Revavroom's attack into the dirt. After letting Gyarados fall, we begin chipping away at the Starmobile, Cacnea doing huge damage thanks to Drain Punch. But our Pokemon are still not strong enough, as Ekans is crushed, and Cacnea follows soon after. A few last chance flamethrowers bring the Starmobile to the brink of death before Growly also falls. This leaves us with only one Pokemon, but it's Team Rocket's ace, Meowth. One last scratch is all our cat needs to crush that car. With that, Team Rocket had finally conquered the first Team Starbase, and Meowth had clawed out the eyes of Giacomo. Team Rocket are back on top. There's nothing that could possibly stop us. Well, if it isn't Team Scared of Sunflora. Alright, twerp, this time you're gonna hand over that Pika clone. There is no way I'm going to be mugged by a man in spandex. Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I'll fight. So, we blasted off again. Although, surely we can get our confidence back in the next gym. Or maybe not. Turns out, this gym is no easy feat. Iono's team of charged electric types are deadly, and it's made even harder by the fact that under my rules, I can only bring an equal number of Pokemon to make this a fair fight. So, after ditching out Gyarados with an electricity allergy onto the bench, I tried rematching Iono, and still lost. Her Pokemon are just way too powerful, and I could barely make it through half of her team in both attempts. Once again, Team Rocket was down bad, and we needed a way to power up our team. So, I took another flight over to Kitakami, as it's here that we can find ourselves a Bellsprout. After immediately evolving it into Weepinbell, we can go hunt down a Leaf Stone, allowing our fresh new plant to evolve again into its final form, Victorybell. This guy is a Team Rocket icon, usually seen trying to literally digest James.
Leo Burnett and 4 kids of the devil, Leo Burnett!
But besides that, our Ekans can finally evolve too into Arbok, Jessie's most iconic Pokemon that is somehow still adorable despite being a Cobra. After upgrading the movesets of our 2 new Pokemon, I assembled my team and marched back into Levincia, ready for revenge. However, the truth is, we still lost. Again, and again, and again. In true Team Rocket fashion, we just kept getting so unlucky. And so, our losses piled up. Until this attempt. Against Iono's Wattrel, we lead with Arbok and use Bite for solid damage. A Spark from Wattrel leaves us paralyzed, which is really annoying, but thankfully, this doesn't prevent us from trading hits back and forth before a third Bite finishes Wattrel off. This summons the adorably goofy Toad, Bellibolt. Who knows what kind of evil, sinister intentions are lingering behind those eyes? I switch into Growlithe, mostly for the Intimidate stat drop, and of course, our Growly also gets paralyzed on the very first Spark. And of course, we're unable to move, and Growlithe just dies immediately. Out of options, I send in our Vacuum, Victorybell, but this is where our luck begins to turn, because Victorybell thankfully lands a Sleep Powder straight away, which honestly started to feel like it had a 2% accuracy. With Bellibolt napping, Victorybell is free to use Swords Dance, sharply raising our attack. Bellibolt stays asleep, but after a second Swords Dance, the frog finally wakes up, landing a Spark, which, thank God, doesn't leave us paralyzed. And our good luck continues as another Sleep Powder connects, buying us time to use our third and final Swords Dance, maxing out our attack. With these boosts, it only takes 2 Razor Leafs to slice that chunky frog in half. Iono's Luxio is next, but it gets immediately decimated by Razor Leaf, bringing the Stream Queen down to only her Miss Magius. After terastallizing, the electrified ghost hits us with Confuse Ray, and with Victorybell seeing ducks, it all comes down to this. Please, Victorybell, I need this! Yes! Razor Leaf lands and Miss Magius falls. We have finally beaten Iono, and that was a nightmare. This challenge is proving way harder than I ever imagined. And I fear that if we're already struggling this hard, there is no way that Team Rocket is going to get even close to beating this game. Despite that, we do get some room to breathe, as our next Titan is Orthworm, possibly my favorite goofball in all of Paldea. But despite its good looks, 2 flamethrowers from Growly absolutely torch the Steel Titan for a very quick win. Well, 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 if it isn't Arvin. Oh god, you're not here to take my money again, are you? Of course not. I'm here to sell Mabistiff's kidneys. What? You're a twisted freak! Oh, come on. It's not like Mabistiff is gonna need its organs soon anyway. That Titan was easy cash, and Team Rocket's momentum was set to continue, as next is the Fire-type Team Star Boss, Mela. And this fight is pretty straightforward. After pivoting Intimidates with Growlithe and Gyarados, Arbok is all clear to spam super effective digs, gradually beating the Starmobile down into a pile of scrap metal.
I don't know why you sent me that stupid worm, but good work taking down the starbase.
You're too kind, boss. And about that reward, I was...
Oh no, I'm driving through a tunnel. Breaking up. Later.
With no reward to speak of yet, Team Rocket went in search of the next gym badge. This brings us to the Cascarapha gym, which has a very interesting gym challenge. Oh no, Kofu left his wallet behind. Can you return it to him? Wait, you're asking me, Team Rocket, to return a lost wallet full of cash? Please, I'm desperate. Oh, sweet summer child, of course I'll help. Really? So, with my new wallet and surplus funds, we chase down the missing gym leader. While preparing to take him on, our starter, Meowth, finally started evolving, but that's not gonna happen. Meowth never evolved in the anime, so ours won't either. And letting Meowth evolve into a Persian would be downright disrespectful. I mean, a Persian stole his girl back in the day and stole his place by the boss's side.
That's rough, buddy.
However, Meowth does now know Fury Swipes, which is basically his signature move. So, with Team Rocket's 3 strongest soldiers assembled, we stepped up to face the Water-type gym leader. Kofu leads with his Veluza, a part Psychic, part Fish type, so we have Arbok use Bite over and over again for super effective damage. Our third Bite fillets that fish, but with Arbok being severely weakened, the incoming Wug trio can quickly even the score with Headbutt. But now, it's Meowth time, baby! Wug Trio's Headbutt does big damage, but Meowth whips up the claws and begins tearing away at those worms with Fury Swipes. After another Headbutt from Wug Trio, Meowth is fighting for his life. However, our kitty cat can still find the strength to land one more Fury Swipes, banishing Wug Trio to the 34th dimension. This leaves Kofu with only his ace, Crabominable. Despite Meowth's heroic efforts, he immediately falls, leaving it all down to a 1 versus 1. However, Victory Bell clutches up, landing all 3 Razor Leafs, crushing the crab with super effective damage. We did it, Victory Bell! High five! Congratulations, Challenger. By the way, has anyone seen my wallet? Gotta go. Team Rocket's momentum had been strong over our last few fights. However, that was about to change, because our next opponent is Atticus, who boasts 4 powerful poison types, and our team was not ready. This man dismantled my team. His Skuntank is a pest that tears through half of our roster, and the Reveroom that follows is equally treacherous, crushing each of my remaining Pokémon one after another. Sadly, Team Rocket was blasting off again. That beatdown was so bad that instantly I knew we needed more Team Rocket recruits. And since our opponent uses poison types, you might think that Team Rocket actually has some pretty good psychic types at their disposal.
Wrong!
These two aren't even in the game, and this one has one of the worst movesets I've ever seen. Despite that, I absolutely have to catch one, because James's relationship with Chimecho really has me crying in the club. But besides Chimecho, there's another iconic Pokemon we can catch now, and that is... James's OG Pokemon, and genuinely the Team Rocket MVP. If it wasn't for this guy throwing down smoke grenades every episode to help them escape, Team Rocket would have been behind bars decades ago. Although, Chimecho and Coughing won't make a huge difference against Atticus. But there is one Pokemon who will. While Team Rocket never did end up stealing Pikachu, they did get the next best thing, Morpeko, the hangry little Pika clone whose mood swings are very dangerous. While Team Rocket's Morpeko only learns 2 moves, and one of them isn't learnable until level 55, for now it does know Stomping Tantrum, a powerful ground-type move that is perfect for exacting our revenge against Atticus's poison types. So, with our updated roster of Team Rocket's finest, we marched into the starbase, ready for our rematch. We lead with Morpeko, and this Pokemon is special because unlike our other Pokemon, this one is actually good. Because by spamming super effective Stomping Tantrums, our brand new mouse is somehow able to clean through Atticus's first 3 Pokemon. What an absolute Giga Chat electric mouse! While Morpeko immediately falls to the Starmobile, it's done its job. By pivoting between Growly and Gyarados, we spam Atticus with Intimidates, nerfing his car into the ground. And once it's been totally neutered, we can send in the GOAT Victory Bell. Oh god, please no, let me out of here! With the Starmobile now doing abysmal damage, our plant is free to max out its attack with Swords Dance, before spamming a combination of Razor Leaf and Vine Whip that stomps that car into the mud, giving us some much needed revenge in our rematch. Atticus was defeated and I was thrilled. Team Rocket has already come impressively far. However, we have struggled a lot. We've already gotten most of Team Rocket's Pokemon in Paldea, and our team isn't going to get much better. I mean, I'm still using a Gyarados with literally no moves just because of its ability. That's how strapped we are for good Pokemon. More and more, I was beginning to doubt our chances. However, we had no choice but to press onwards before eventually arriving in the town of Medali, where the next gym awaits. Hey, Team Rocket! Oh god, please no. Coughing! Smokescreen! Having evaded the twerp, now we were clear to take on the next gym. And while preparing, our floating smoke grenade finally evolves into Wheezing. Now we had the real OG Team Rocket squad. And I just have to remind you that Arbok and Wheezing evolved out of sheer love. This is my childhood right here. So I decided to test out our new Wheezing and... Oh my god, it's a shiny Ditto! That is insanely rare! Could this be it? Team Rocket's ticket to glory and riches? Except Team Rocket never owned a Ditto, especially not a shiny one. So sadly, I have no choice but to kill an amazing shiny. This is so sad. Can we get some Fs in the chat for losing what is probably the rarest thing I've ever found in a Pokemon game? Fortunate misfortunes aside, the next gym leader is Larry, who's kind of relatable for Team Rocket as he too is mistreated by his boss. Since this fight is a 3-on-3, I assembled my iconic trio of Rocket villains ready to assert our dominance. Prepare for trouble! And make it double! To protect the... Never mind. Our iconic trio were decimated, so I changed up our roster before stepping up to Larry once more. And while we can struggle through his Kamala and barely scrape by against his Dunsparce, once Larry's Staraptor hits the field, we just don't stand a chance. Its Terra-boosted facades just crush any Pokemon in its wake. I tried again and again, but we just got destroyed every single time. Team Rocket is blasting off again! Once again, Team Rocket was down bad. If only there was a way that we could copy Larry's power. Wouldn't that be great? Larry is easily our toughest fight yet. I knew that if Team Rocket was going to stand any chance here, we would need to collect more Pokemon. So, once again, we took to the skies. First, over in the terrarium, we can find Inkay, an adorable little member of Team Rocket who has a really close bond with James, and is responsible for giving us this iconic moment in the anime. After catching Inkaychu, we return to Paldea in search of another of James's Pokemon, Mareanie, who, brace yourself, tried to kill James before falling in love with him after seeing him poisoned. She's basically the modern-day Victory Bell, showing her affection through attempted murder. On top of that, there's another Rocket member that we can catch now. One of the most iconic members of all time, Survivor. Jessie's second Snake Ace, and if you believe the anime, it's also the evolution of Arbok. Survivor might actually be the GOAT Rocket member. I mean, this guy will throw down smoke, it won contests, and even bit off a piece of Jessie's hair before getting the absolute smackdown. What an icon. Despite gaining 3 new members, their move pools in this game are very limited. And even with these new Pokemon, our team was still no match for Larry, as once again, we were beaten down into submission. Larry is a demon. This fight is so hard, and I finally realized that there is only one Team Rocket Pokemon who can save us. Because while Team Rocket never stole Pikachu, they did get another one of its clones, Mimikyu. A Pokemon who has a blind hatred for Pikachu in the anime, making it the perfect Team Rocket recruit. And this guy is a game changer. Not only does our Mimikyu have a really solid moveset, but its Ghost Fairy typing makes Mimikyu an absolute godsend in the fight against Larry. So, armed with a new trio, Team Rocket returned to Larry, and this time, things would be different. Leading with our new Ghost, a Playrough does enormous damage to Larry's Komala. He replies with Yawn, meaning I have to switch out to keep Mimikyu awake. However, Cacnea can come in for free, with Larry's Sucker Punch failing since I didn't attack. And while Cacnea is also hit by Yawn, one Drain Punch is all we need to crush that Koala. Although, the incoming Dunsparce is also deadly. One Hyper Drill annihilates Cacnea, evening the score to a 2v2. I need Mimikyu to stay healthy, so send in Jessie the Arbok to land Toxic, as we are paralyzed by Glare. However, Arbok clutches up with the Shed Skin ability curing our Snake. To buy time for the Toxic damage, I start using Dig, as this lets Arbok hide underground for a whole turn. And after another lucky Shed Skin activation, the combination of Toxic and Dig finally finishes the giant slug. This leaves Larry with only his Staraptor, a Pokemon that has been an absolute menace. It immediately fires off a terror-boosted facade, which does enormous damage, but Arbok returns fire, with the toxic leaving the bird badly poisoned. And this is where Mimikyu goes huge, because by switching it in, Mimikyu is unaffected by the incoming facade thanks to our ghost typing. This stalls for one turn before a switch into our sacrificial Arbok causes it to fall, stalling another turn. Now we're down to only our Mimikyu, but the toxic damage has started to take hold. One more play rough from Mimikyu has Staraptor on the brink of death as Mimikyu's disguise ability eats the incoming Aerial Ace. And with that, Team Rocket secures a toxic win as Staraptor finally falls to poison damage. Larry had finally been defeated. Team Rocket is back on top. And now, nothing could stop. Hello, Team Rocket. Ah, the twerp! Wait, I've got a strong new Pokemon now. You don't stand a chance. Oh, really? Let's test that. Team Rocket, I'm placing you under arrest. Wait, for what? I'm innocent. You tried to rob the Poke Center. We have 17 witnesses. Oh, yeah? Well, I have a wheezing. With the authorities evaded, Team Rocket was clear to press on towards the fourth Titan, Great Tusk.
Elephant green screen effect.
But our fairy ghost, Mimikyu, makes this fight a completely free win. Look, I don't have any money left, okay? I spent it all on lottery tickets. I don't have time to deal with you, Arvin. I'm a wanted man with a 5-star rating. Boss, it's me. The heat is on. I could really use that reward right now.
Fine. Continue your takeover of Paldea. Your reward is on the way.
In the meantime, we have no choice but to continue our goal of conquering Paldea. And next in Team Rocket's sights are the final 3 gym leaders. The first of which brings us to the spooky city of Montenevera. Stop! In the name of Team Rocket, hand over your Pokémon. Why doesn't anybody respect me? Fortunately, the next gym is a double battle, which is basically Jessie and James's specialty. And since Rhyme uses ghost types, in this fight, we can unleash our Shadow Claw Mimikyu, as well as our Biting Arbok to deal out huge damage. With a little help from the boosts given by the crowd, this fight was an utter beatdown by Team Rocket. The 6th gym badge was quickly secured, but we weren't done yet, because while bound for the next gym, I found something special. Shiny! Another shiny! Except, Team Rocket never had a Makuhita either, so... This is so sad. 1 like equals 1 prayer for me never getting to actually keep the shinies that I find. Regardless, Team Rocket soon arrived in the town of Alphanada. Stop! In the name of Team Rocket, and... I give up. The next gym is here, and this one uses psychic types. Tulip's roster is stacked with powerful, big-brained psychics, and considering that Team Rocket has so many poison types, this feels very ominous. There's only 2 Pokemon left for Team Rocket to catch, but one of them is going to be a huge help against Tulip. So, after another international balloon ride to Kitakami Airport, we're able to hunt down Yanma. A Pokemon so pathetic that after Team Rocket sent it to Giovanni, he literally sent it back. That is honestly pathetic. However, our Rocket Reject can evolve right away into Yanmega, an incredibly cool bug type. Except, Yanmega's modern moveset has been butchered, and it doesn't even get any of the good moves that it used on Team Rocket. So yeah, this thing is terrible. Now I can totally see why Giovanni didn't want you. After taking on the gym challenge that basically requires Team Rocket to exercise, we're clear to face the penultimate gym leader, Tulip. And despite the disappointing Yanmega, Inkay Lead slays Tulip's Giraffe with 2 foul plays. And from here, Mimikyu and Morpeko sweep the ever-loving trash out of Tulip's team with Stomping Tantrum and Shadow Claw, tearing each and every one of her Pokemon to shreds. You fought well, Challenger. Cool. Now hand over your Gardevoir for the boss. Wait, what? Putting aside the irony of Team Rocket's best Pokemon being Pikachu clones, that's our penultimate badge secured, and I am so thankful for Mimikyu. Honestly, this challenge probably would have ended at Larry if we didn't have this powerhouse little ghost. We can take on the final gym right away, but thankfully, Grush's ice types are no match for Team Rocket. Ancient powers from our Rocket Reject, Yanmega, clean up his Frostmoth, and do big damage to Beartick. Survivor's Poison Tail finishes Beartick before Sludge Bombs annihilates the Titan. With an onslaught of flamethrowers from Growly, we melt down Grush's ace, Altaria, claiming a very clean final badge. Team Rocket, I knew we'd find you here. Ah, it's the twerp, and the bigger, lamer twerp. Your crimes have gone unpunished for far too long. Oh yeah? I'd like to see you try and stop me. Once I steal your Pika clone and become champion, no one will be left to stop Team Rocket. You fool, we have the entire Paldea police force on standby. If you dare to show your face at the Pokemon League, you'll be sent directly to jail. This is dangerous. I need to carefully consider my next move and meow, Fury Swipes! Before we can even think about taking on the Pokemon League, first, we need to overcome the final Titan, as well as the remaining Team Star bosses. And to help with that, now it was time to recruit our final Team Rocket Pokemon. Because by backtracking to the Tag Tree Thicket, we can find Foongus, which we immediately evolve into James's Amoongus, the sussiest Team Rocket member, who has literally never smiled on screen. So, with our Pokemon Scarlet Rocket Dex now complete, our next objective is the final Titan. But this one is a Water type, meaning that James's Grass types can tag team the Giant Whale with a barrage of super effective attacks, squashing the final Titan into its grave. Well, Arvin, I guess now you can finally heal your dog. I already healed Mabastip using my lottery winnings. Your what? Gotta go. We'll deal with Arvin and his riches later. For now, Team Rocket has two more bases of our rival team to take down. The first of which is the Fairy base led by Ortega. But Fairy types are weak to poison, and Team Rocket has a whole host of toxic poisonous Pokemon. This type advantage makes the fight with Ortega a breeze, as Survivor rips through the majority of Ortega's team, before Arbok and Weezing both chip in against the Starmobile, slaughtering the oversized car, giving us a very clean win. This leaves only one Team Starbase, but this one is the toughest yet. Eri has a stacked roster of powerful Pokemon, so we needed to bring our A-game. Pathetic Grunt, surrender now or prepare to fight.
That's right.
Aren't you just a grunt too? Shut up, Grunt. After storming our way through an onslaught of Team Star members, with our strongest squad of Rockets assembled, it was time to finally face the last Team Star boss. Against Eri's Toxicroak, I lead with our little squid, as Inkay fires off a quad-effective Psybeam for big damage. While Inkay does fall on the following turn, this clears the way for Arbok, who finishes off Toxicroak with Dig. But Eri's Lucario is next, and this guy is incredibly dangerous. A Dragon Pulse deals huge damage to Arbok, but a super effective Dig counters for over half. Lucario then fires off another Dragon Pulse, and Arbok just survives. What an absolute queen. This clutch means that one last dig is all we need to crush Lucario. The incoming Annihilate quickly gets the revenge kill, but a Shadow Claw from Mimikyu ends the Raging Ape, and the Persimmon that follows is also quickly crushed within 2 turns. This leaves Eri with only her Starmobile, so I switch into the Goat, Weezing, and begin firing off smoke screens to lower Eri's accuracy. Once Weezing falls, Mimikyu is able to land a huge super effective Play Rough, but falls to a single hit. Our Growlithe that follows quickly suffers the exact same fate, leaving it all down to a 1 versus 1. Revavroom versus Amoongus. Our first energy ball deals big damage before our earlier smoke screens come in clutch as Revavroom misses its attack. This gives our Sushroom free reign to land one final energy ball, destroying the Starmobile in its place. Eri was crushed.
Good work, Grunt. You've taken down all the Team Star bosses.
Meaning I can get my reward now, right? Right?
The Team Star head honcho still remains. Eliminate them and you'll receive a reward beyond your wildest comprehension.
Armed with our new objective, Team Rocket were ready for riches. But first, we've got to deal with that snake, Arvin. But now, he's got a full team consisting of 6 powerful, diverse Pokemon, making this easily our toughest fight yet. Alright Arvin, open up your wallet. It's time to make a charitable donation to Team Rocket. If you want this money, you'll have to take it. Fine, have it your way, twerp. This was going to be a brutal battle. As Arvin leads with his oversized squirrel, we send in the Team Rocket mascot, Meowth. Alright Meowth, hit him with the swipes. Seriously, Meowth? 25 seasons of anime and that's the best you've got? After Meowth is body slammed into its grave, we send in Morpeko, who now has its powerful signature move, Aura Wheel. This move will either be Electric type or Dark type, depending on whether Morpeko is in its hangry or full belly form. After our first Aura Wheel still isn't enough to overpower Greedent, our hungry Morpeko eats a full force Earthquake, just barely surviving. But with one more aura wheel, the giant squirrel finally falls. Arvin responds with his Rocky Lego set, so we switch into Amoongus, who tanks a body press like a king. And while I was planning to crush Garganicle with Energy Ball, Arvin lands a critical hit Stone Edge, meaning that my fungus falls before we even get the chance. Despite that, an aura wheel from Morpeko does finish off the weakened Garganicle, as well as dealing big damage to the incoming Toadscruel before our Hangry Mouse falls. Team Rocket is already falling behind in this fight, but this is where the tide turns, because after Survivor just tanks an Earth Power, Poison Tail finishes off the landlocked Jellyfish, and the incoming Scovillain is instantly shattered by a super effective Sludge Bomb. Survivor nearly even finishes Cloyster too. What an absolute hero. Can I get some in the chat for our goat Snake? From here, our win is sealed. A Shadow Claw from Mimikyu cleans up Cloyster before two Play Roughs from our ace send Mabberstiff to go and fetch this L. With that, Team Rocket had somehow conquered a full, powerful team. We robbed Arvin of his fortune, sent his puppy to the boss as a gift, and watched him run away in tears. Just another day for Team Rocket. With Arvin now dealt with, next on our hit list is Team Star. Their secret, all-powerful leader is Penny. But I mean, look at her team. All evolutions. No snakes, no poison types, and no smokescreen users. This is not the team of a criminal mastermind, and it absolutely showed in our battle. Penny's team was stomped, picked apart, and downright embarrassed by my Legion of Doom. I've assembled the most villainous Pokemon possible, like Arbok, Weezing, and Chimecho, especially Chimecho. After a deadly Poison Tail from our Serpent, Penny's Sylveon succumbs to poison, and the final pillar of Team Star had crumbled. The Star Bosses were sentenced to a lifetime of powering our generators, and Team Rocket had established themselves as the #1 team in Paldea. But to complete our takeover, Team Rocket still needs to conquer the Pokemon League. 5 trainers with 5 deadly teams that we have to overcome, using only the biggest losers in the entire anime. Of course, there's also the issue of the Paldean police force waiting to arrest us. But Team Rocket are masters of disguise. I mean, just look at these undercover fits from over the years. To complete our preparation, our reward from the boss just arrived, and it's the perfect disguise. So this is me before, and here is how I look now. I know, it's an insane change, but yes, this is in fact still the same person. You look familiar. Have we met before? Nope. First time. Well, alright then. Good luck, trainer. It says here that your name is Team Hot Pocket. That's your legal name. Yes, absolutely. Your parents named you Team Hot Pocket at birth. How dare you insult the proud Hot Pocket family name? Get me your manager. Alright, fine, just start your league challenge already. Having added identity theft and fraud to our rap sheet, now it was time to tackle the Paldean Elite Four. And first up is Rika. Except, her ground types are no match for James's grass-type Vacuum, who puts in work here. Yanmega also finally decided to contribute, with Ancient Power helping us deal with Camerupt before Mimikyu's Wood Hammer cleans up the final Clodsire.
What is that, Rolf? The hat of discipline. Do you live in a cave? All is forgiven.
Overall, a quick and clean start to our league challenge, but this summons one of Team Rocket's worst nightmares. A twerk. Seriously, Poppy is a menace. Her steel types are immune to poison and resist our grass types, rendering most of our Pokemon useless here. Regardless, I assembled the best anti-steel rocket squad that I could and faced up to the scariest 9-year-old I've ever seen. Go on, Raja, smush him! And smush him he did, as after Cacnea lands one measly Drain Punch, a single heavy slam from Copperaja crushes Cacnea into dust. We're already on the back foot, and I am worried. Thankfully, we still have Growly, who can melt down the metallic giant with Flamethrower before also doing enormous damage to the incoming Bronzong before being buried by an earthquake. However, Bronzong's psychic typing means that Mimikyu can quickly secure our revenge with a super effective Shadow Claw, forcing Poppy to send in her Magnezone. And at this point, I switch into the OG Rocket Cobra, as 2 quad-effective digs are all we need to claim another KO. But Poppy's incoming Corviknight quickly gets revenge, leaving us in a 2v2, armed with only our Pika clones. Thankfully, a super effective Aura Wheel is all we need for Morpeko to wipe Corviknight off the map, leaving Poppy with only her ace, Tinkaton. And this is where our mouse clutches up, because not only does Morpeko survive a play rough, but it also dodges a Stone Edge on the following turn. This means that we can land our third and final Stomping Tantrum, burying Tinkerton into its grave. We had somehow defeated Poppy, and Morpeko is a god. One like equals one tasty little snack for this hangry little MVP. The next two Elite Four members are both difficult in their own right, but not as bad as Poppy. For some reason, Larry decided to kamikaze his final Pokemon, basically handing us the win thanks to recoil damage. And in the fight against Hassel, a lucky Omni Boost on Yanmega's Ancient Power allows us to clear his lead, Noivern. Besides that, we're basically reliant on our Fairy-type Ace to rip through his dragons with Play Rough, yielding us a pretty safe win. With Hassel defeated and in tears, that leaves only the champion. Well, if it isn't the mysterious challenger I've heard so much about, Team Hot Pocket. Foolish Geeta, it is I, Team Rocket. Team Rocket, prepare for trouble and make it double. Wait, what's with that whole two voices thing? Look, just roll with it, okay? Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Yeah, that's right.
Geeta's team is stacked and her Espathra lead is deadly, but I have an evil plan. First, we lead with Seviper, and now our Poison-type Pokemon is baiting out a Psychic-type attack from Geeta. And this is important as it means that we can switch into Morpeko, whose Dark-typing makes it immune to the incoming Psychic attack. And you might be wondering, what was the point of that? Well, it guarantees that we survive the first turn with our Pika clone on the field. And at the end of the turn, Morpeko now changes into its Hangry mode, meaning now its Aura Wheel becomes a Dark-type move. This hits Espathra for huge super effective damage, crushing the oversized chicken in a single shot. But the Avalugg that Geeta follows up with is a tank. Not only does our poor Cacnea get decimated on the switch-in, rest in peace Cacnea, but a flamethrower from Growly isn't enough to get the KO, causing our pup to also fall to a single Earthquake. However, this is where we take back momentum, as an Aura Wheel finishes Avalugg, and after a switch into Seviper, two Sludge Bombs take care of the Grass-type Go-Go. And Morpeko is the gift that keeps on giving, as two Stomping Tantrums dethrone King Gambit before another Aura Wheel annihilates Veluza in a single shot. With Geeta now down to only her Glamora, we're able to land one more Stomping Tantrum before our mighty mouse finally falls. But with just one rock type left in our way, now we're clear for James's Amoonguss to take the field. And after comfortably tanking a Terra Blast, one final Energy Ball is all we need to secure the win. With that, the champ had fallen, and Team Rocket were one step closer to conquering Paldea. But before we can celebrate, we're ambushed by that twerp, Nemona, our one true rival who has sent us blasting off more times than I can even remember. Alright Nemona, hand over your Pikachu clone and nobody has to get hurt. Hand it over to a loser in spandex? I don't think so. Don't say something you'll regret, twerp. You're pathetic. I always knew that Butch and Cassidy were the better Rocket members. Oh, you've really done it this time. Nemona's final team is ridiculously strong though. We would need to pull out all the stops to even stand a chance in this fight. So, after assembling my strongest ensemble of Team Rocket members, we faced up to our rival, the Twerp. She leads with her Lycanroc, who immediately sets up Stealth Rock. But after Amoonguss puts it to sleep with Spore, a single Energy Ball is all we need to draw First Blood. But we don't have a safe switch-in for the incoming Goodra, so our Mushroom is forced to eat super effective Ice Beams while chipping away at the Gooey Dragon with Body Slam. And this is surprisingly successful, as Goodra is brought below half health by the time that Amoonguss goes down. Naturally, I send in Mimikyu next to clean up the easy revenge kill, and yeah, Play Rough misses. So, we lose Mimikyu's disguise protection before our next Play Rough finally finishes Goodra. Against the incoming Orthworm, we're safe to switch into Growly before a single flamethrower melts down that metallic worm. However, then comes Dunsparce, a Pokemon who has already inflicted so much pain during this challenge, and the pain train just keeps on rolling as Dunsparce proceeded to Hyperdrill the ever-loving life out of both Growly as well as Jessie the Arbok. But we still have our hero, Morpeko. We charge up a powerful Aura Wheel and it somehow survives? What is this stupid worm made out of? Hyperdrill claims yet another victim, putting us on the back foot in a 2 versus 3. However, a single Play Rough from Mimikyu quickly earns us the revenge kill before one more Play Rough onto Pawmot can Did you really just miss again? Thanks to that, our blind Mimikyu falls, and whilst the Viper does put up a good fight against Pormont, ultimately, Nemona's ace has no trouble finishing us off. For the first time in a long time, Team Rocket is blasting off again! Despite the loss, Team Rocket made it to Nemona's final Pokemon. We were so close, and we were really unlucky there. So I stepped up to Nemona, confident that this time things would be different. What a fool I was, because this time I was luckier. In fact, Mimikyu landed all of its play roughs, which meant that Goodra went down cleanly. We handled the Dunsparce much better thanks to Arbok's Toxic, and Pormont fell in a single shot at the hands of a super effective play rough. All of this meant that as Nemona was down to only her ace, we still had 3 Pokemon left. After Quaquaval terastallizes into a pure water type, Mimikyu fires off a Wood Hammer, which just isn't enough to kill. The Duck responds with an Aqua Step, and while Mimikyu's Disguise eats up the damage, it doesn't prevent the speed boost. And this is crucial, as now Mimikyu is outsped and annihilated on the following turn. We just need to land one more hit, but both of our remaining Pokemon are just too frail, as Morpeko and Seviper are outsped and crushed in a single hit. Even with great luck, we still can't conquer this Duck. Team Rocket have overcome so many hurdles in this challenge, and we've honestly made it far further than I thought possible. But maybe this fight is a step too far. Maybe Team Rocket are just destined to be losers. Despite the overwhelming odds, I wasn't ready to give up yet. I had one more idea, one last plan to try. So, with a rearranged team, we once again stepped up to Nemona. This time, we lead with Victory Bell, and while we take big damage from a Stone Edge, 2 Razor Leafs are enough to slay Lycanroc. Goodra immediately gets revenge, freezing our plant with Ice Beam. However, Mimikyu returns Serve as Play Rough annihilates the giant Goo Ball. From here, the next phase of the fight is similar to our prior attempts, as we gradually chip away at Nemona's Pokemon. And after Mimikyu finishes the Dunsparce, once again, Nemona was down to her Duck. And just like last time, Mimikyu deals big damage with Wood Hammer before quickly falling. And just like last time, our Morpeko and Cobra both die instantly. However, this is where our plan changes, because our Amoonguss is still healthy. Thanks to its sheer bulk, Amoonguss tanks an Ice Spinner before firing off a deadly energy ball that slaughters Quaquaval. With that, we had finally beaten the Duck and overcome Nemona. You know what comes now, right? Do you have to? Yes. Looks like Nemona's blasting off again! Team Rocket and their awful Pokemon had somehow overcome the Paldean champions, but we're not done just yet. One battle remains, the final boss. So, we descended into the Paldea crater where we can find the rarest Pokemon to send to the boss. And I guess Nemona somehow reincarnated as a full-blooded demon. But once we reach the bottom of the crater, we find her. The toughest fight of Pokemon Scarlet, Sada. Can the biggest losers of the entire Pokemon franchise overcome one of the toughest fights in any Pokemon game? Let's find out. Sada leads with Slitherwing, so we open with our ace, Mimikyu, to build some early momentum. That's because a single super effective Play Rough is all we need to draw first blood. Sada responds with Flutter Mane, and this thing is so deadly. Just look at how busted these stats are. I can't take any chances here, so let Flutter Mane break Mimikyu's disguise with Shadow Ball. This lets us safely land a big Shadow Claw that rips the opposing ghost in 2. I need to keep Mimikyu alive though, so once Sandy Shocks emerges, I instantly switch into Amoonguss. Our sussy mushroom can barely survive 2 hits before putting the magnet to bed with Spore. This clears us to land a double dose of energy balls, sending Sandy Shocks to the Shadow Realm. We then trade Pokemon back and forth as Screamtail eliminates Amoonguss before Morpeko gets revenge with an onslaught of Aura Wheels. This exchange then continues, with Brute Bonnet quickly finishing Morpeko, but now it's time to send in the GOAT, Weezing. Our Levitating Smoke Bomb is a great counter here, as 2 Sludges combined with a little poison damage are all we need to finish Brute Bonnet. And so, Sada was down to her final Pokemon, Roaring Moon, the all-powerful ancient dragon. Our Weezing is no match for this demigod, and Seviper 2 falls in just one shot. Once again, Team Rocket's hopes rested on the shoulders of Mimikyu. But Roaring Moon outspeeds, charging up a big Night Slash, and Mimikyu just hangs on, and with one last super effective Play Rough, Roaring Moon goes down and Sada had been crushed. With that, the biggest losers in Pokemon had somehow beaten all of Pokemon Scarlet. Jump into this video next for more Pokemon content, and leave a like for Mimikyu absolutely carrying this challenge. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.